As I sit down to meditate, I start going deep within. As I descend down, I realize thousands of thoughts floating around about various objects, people, situations, and the thoughts are dancing to their max. As I settle down into meditation, I realize that I have thoughts only because my consciousness had come in contact with various objects, various people, various situations. And thoughts are basically memories of those objects, people, situations. And as I try to analyze the nature of things, it shows that consciousness has two features, two basic nature of my consciousness is to be aware of the world, and not just aware, also to know the world. Just to be aware may be superficial, but to know anything, it requires not just awareness, ability to recognize, analyze, and store it. So all these thoughts are about these objects, people, and situations that I was aware of. I have analyzed them, I have stored them, and that way I can say that I know them also. Just the way sun has a nature of giving out heat and also giving out light, consciousness has the dual nature of to be aware and also to know. Wherever you see knowledge happening, realize the consciousness is at work. In fact, anything that is happening in the world, you can realize same consciousness is doing its job. A simple earthworm is traveling to find food for its sustenance. It knows exactly what to eat, what not to eat, what to go after and what to avoid. A tiny ant is running with some perception of some smell that is attracting it. It knows exactly what it is going after, looking for food, maybe bring the food back to its nest for its babies. You realize the deep network of consciousness operating everywhere. So as I descend down into meditation, I realize that my consciousness has collected these images of the Sansar. But I never know the nature of consciousness. Just the way the nature of every single waves of the ocean is ocean itself. If there was no ocean, there cannot be any waves. And that's when I realize that it is the consciousness that is a gift to us, with the help of which we know the world. What we know is not important. We know all the time. We keep on knowing things. Our consciousness is like a sponge. It wants to absorb everything. Until we know the nature of consciousness, we will not be able to tame this beast, because this beast is the mind itself, which has collected zillions and zillions of bytes of information. For what? It doesn't know. We want to know things all the time. We want to know the objects of pleasure. We want to know the world events. We want to know people. We want to know what they are thinking. Whether we can or not doesn't matter. We always are thinking. We receive the knowledge of our body. We keep on looking at it all the time. So even the body is a part of that information that we have collected in the consciousness, in the form of a live world. But this so-called live world that we believe, who gave it life? The consciousness. If I was not conscious, none of these things would mean anything to me. So my consciousness gives it a life, because consciousness is life. But as we leave our world every single day, doing zillions of things, most of them are useless. We collect all these things, and someday we give up all that and die. When the consciousness pulls the plug, we don't exist anymore. And this has been going on for many lives. We have never inquired into this. So in meditation, that's what I do, inquire within. And I realize that consciousness is consciousness. Nobody owns it. My ego believes that it is conscious. If somebody asks me, I say, I am alive. Yeah, but because of what? The life force, the consciousness. That is the sign of life. Just the way wherever you see the heat and light, you know the sun is near. Same way, in my body, there is life and there is consciousness. So who is near? Me, the consciousness. My ego has assumed that consciousness belongs to it. Then why is it not able to keep it forever? When the time comes for the death, it has to separate out. So it was riding on the wave of the consciousness. The ego is a false structure based on the assumption that consciousness is it, but it's not. Ultimate source of consciousness, no one knows. It's everywhere. In the light of this consciousness, we keep on collecting the world based on our whims and likes and dislikes. But these are all images. The basic ingredient of all that is consciousness. And we never know consciousness till we die. So meditate, go deep within, and realize that all our life we are lost in the known. All the known things, objects, people, situation. But we never tease out this process of knowing. And where does this lead us to? It will lead us to the knowing function of the consciousness. And consciousness is the only thing that has a function of knowing. If I look at a pen, pen cannot know me, but I can know the pen as long as I am conscious. So wherever the knowing is happening, consciousness is always there. It's universal. It's everywhere. Isn't consciousness the godliness? Kan kan mein, kshan kshan mein Bhagwan hai. God is in every fraction of a second and in every morsel of an object. It's always there, always available. And we never give a credit to it. So go deep within, walk away from the known, meaning all the thoughts, and retrace your steps back into the consciousness. And consciousness will know consciousness, because consciousness is the only thing that has a knowing function. And for that, your ego, your body, or anyone else, your guru or your temples or rites and rituals, and all those are part of the known. There is no way any one of those can know the consciousness, because consciousness is within you, and only you have capacity to tease out the difference between the known and the knower. Consciousness is the ultimate knower, and let it do its job on itself. Let the consciousness be conscious of itself. Let the knower know itself with the process of knowing. And that's when the knower, the knowing, and the known all become a single entity, and samadhi happens. So life is all about knowing the true nature of things, and the true nature of consciousness is knowing. Go deep into this, meditate on it. It's very easy. The consciousness is right underneath you, always available to do your job that you think is important. But how can it be anything more important than knowing the true knower? Consciousness is that knower. Consciousness is that source of awareness and source of knowing, because of which we have collected vast collection of the known, means the objects. But those are only images. They come, they go. Don't waste your time in collecting unnecessary stuff, but go within, fold your own consciousness onto consciousness. Fold the process of knowing, withdraw it from the other known objects, people, situations, and fold it up as someone folds their tongue onto itself. Fold your consciousness onto itself. Try to know the knower, and that's when the communion happens and samadhi results. Have a good day.